Hello everyone, my name is Zhang WENXUAN. Today my presentation case is Miller and the Prime Minister. Who was a pilot? Gina Miller, a businesswoman, insists against Brexit. On 11 September, the High Court of England and Wales delivered judgment dismissing Mr. Miller, claiming found the issue not justiciable. The inner house of the Court of Session in Scotland announced that the issue was justiciable, that it was motivated by improper purpose of stymieing parliamentary scrutiny of the government, and that any prorogation which followed it were unlawful and thus void and of no effect. Mr. Miller's appeal against the English decision and the Advocate General appeal against the Scottish decision were heard by this court from 17th to 19th September. The next part is issues. The issue's first question is, was the lawfulness of the Prime Minister's advice to the Queen justiciable? The second question is, what are the limits to the power to advise the Queen to prorogue Parliament? The second question is, did this prorogation have the effect of frustrating or preventing the ability of Parliament to carry out its constitutional functions without reasonable justification? It was held on the first issue for consideration that there is no doubt that the courts have jurisdiction to decide upon the extensive and limited of prerogative powers the court have exercised a supervisory jurisdiction over the lawfulness of activities of the government for centuries, as long as 1611, the lawfulness of the Prime Minister's advice to the Queen was therefore determined justiciable. It was ruled that the power to prorogue is limited by the constitutional purpose with which it would otherwise conflict. The limit on the power to prorogue is that a decision to prorogue will be unlawful if the prorogation has in fact free-starting or providing without reasonable justification the ability of the Parliament to carry out its constitutional functions as a legislature and as the body responsible for the supervising the executive. In light of the third issue, it was ruled that this was not a normal prorogation. In the run-up to the Queen's speech, it prevented Parliament from carrying out its constitutional role between the end of the summer recess and the Brexit deadline on 31 October. While progressed, it was stated neither house could make or pass legislation or debate government policy. The exceptional circumstances of the prorogation were also considered, in that it took place during a time of fundamental change to the UK Constitution with the 31 October's exit day. It was ruled that Parliament had a right of voice in how the change comes about. No justification for taking the actions or for prorogation in this instance was given before the court. In the light of this, the court concluded that the decision to advise Her Majesty to prorogue Parliament was unlawful because it had the effect of frustrating, of preventing the ability of Parliament to. out its constitutional functions without reasonable justification. That's all for issues. Let's begin to conclusion. It was ruled that the Prime Minister's advice to Her Majesty was unlawful, void, and of no effect, allowing Parliament to reconvene. So thank you. That's all for my presentation.